Hello and welcome to OThinking Dungeons, a channel devoted to turning successful players into successful DMs. Today's topic is choice and how choice can ruin your game. I'm your overthinker Manny, and let's talk design. So, how does choice ruin your game? If your players spend a long time arguing about what to do, they feel like the choices they make don't matter, or maybe they are constantly flying off on different things and you as a DM are having trouble managing that, this video is for you. So let's go straight into it. What are some different ways that choice can ruin your game? And the first one to cover is choice paralysis, where basically you have so much choice you can't make a decision anymore. So here is an example that you probably have experienced. I want you to think back to a time when you had to buy a present for a cousin, a workmate, an acquaintance, and you knew nothing about them. I want you to remember going to the shops and being stuck because there was hundreds of things you could choose from and you couldn't decide. Do they like music? Do they like sports? Do they like books? What bands do they like? It's too many. That is choice paralysis. But notice how if I say to you, hey, that friend of yours, they like camping. You've suddenly gone from hundreds of different, thousands of different choices to about here. It's much easier to make a decision. And then if I told you they need a new sleeping bag, you've gone from all these different choices to about that many. And then I tell you that they like the color red. And now you've gone from all the way out here, infinite choice, to maybe 3. Notice how much easier it is to make a choice now. So, the other thing to realize is your players already have nearly infinite choice. And what I mean is when they meet an NPC, they can talk to them, they can fight them, they can lie to them, they can persuade them, they can sneak past them, they can cast spells on them, they can cast hundreds of different spells on them in fact, and they can do so many different things. And it's not just one player. They can do them in combination and each player can do a different thing as well. They've already got unlimited choice and you are trying to put more choices on top of that? They're going to end up at choice paralysis. Don't do it. Bad. The other thing that you might be doing is maybe you're giving them lots of meaningless choice, in that basically whenever they make a decision you negate their choice. And I've got a very good example for this one because it used to happen in one of my previous games, and the GM in question was what I refer to as a gotcha GM. And what that basically means is every time we made a decision he was out to get us. But that's a topic for terrible GMs and that's in a different video. Anyway, what happened with this GM is he was very, very good at balancing encounters. They were always perfectly balanced to be tough as nails. And so what happened is it didn't matter if we went up to a fort and we assaulted the front gate full force, or whether we planned it out that we'd sneak in that night, swim through the river, cut through the grating silently, swim through into the courtyard, climb up through the well, sneak up to the bandit leader's camp. We were going to end up at the same difficulty encounter as if we had assaulted the front gate. Basically, our choices didn't matter because they didn't change the battles. That's an example of negating your player's choice. Another problem you might be doing, or another thing you might be doing, is giving them insignificant choice. And that is choices that don't really make a difference. Oh, this bow comes in blue, green, purple, mauve, maroon, white, brown, olive, indigo, and I don't know. What's that? I don't need that. Cut it out. Stop it. Now, how do we fix these problems? It's actually very easy. So first thing you need to do is trim down your choice. You don't need to offer them hundreds of different choices. You only ever really need to offer them about 3. That's a magic number. Because did you ever notice that multiple choice tends to be about 3 different choices? And if it offers more than 3 choices, those other choices tend to be silly ones, so you can discount them straight away. So here's an example. What's your favorite color? Do you like red, blue, green, or the number 12? Let's cross those ones out straight away. You don't need to offer them hundreds of choices. You only really need to offer them 3. And note that you inadvertently make your choices matter less if you're offering them dozens of different choices. Oh, we can save the kids from the slavers, we can save the people from the illusions in the circus, we can defeat the orcish raiders out in the wildlands, we can try and track down that dragon, or we can deal with the howling in the graveyard. Your players are going to either think, they're going to think that, hey, it doesn't matter, the world's screwed anyway, or maybe it also sort of causes your game or your situation to seem a bit insignificant what they do, really, because there's so many things they can do. What does it matter? Because you can choose between them, and suddenly those other ones fall away and disappear from the story. So you want your choices to mean something. What matters is not choice, but choices that matter. I'm going to say that one again. What matters is not choice, but choices that matter. When your players make decisions, make sure that they can change the landscape and how the game plays out. That's an example of choice that matters. Alright, so we're coming down towards the end of the video. What are some what ifs, for example? But Manny, if I take away my players' choices, aren't I railroading them? Aren't I stopping them from making choice? No, stop. Realize that your players aren't actually losing any choices. You've simply reduced the ones they focused on. Good players will come up with their own solutions. If you tell them that they have to kill this noble, they will probably think of a different way to come about and solve that issue, that problem. Oh, we can shave off his beard, we can cut out his tongue, or maybe, change his clothing or whatever. We can change his appearance and we can lead him out. We don't need to kill him. So your players are still able to make all those decisions. You've just made making those decisions much easier. And that's important. You're about making those decisions, you're about reducing the amount of time they spend arguing and trying to decide. The other thing is to realize that you as a DM are teaching your players how to play in a way that you enjoy running games for. So I want to talk more about this and how you as a DM can lead your players to make better decisions, or decisions that won't end up in a TPK, or you can very subtly help them make decisions so it's easier. And that's coming in the video following this one. But anyway, let's do a quick recap. Avoid choice paralysis. Make sure that the choices that you offer are choices that matter. Make sure that you trim out all those choices and instead offer them fewer choices, but ones that change the game or are significant. The other thing is, well, players, good players, will make their own decisions anyway. It doesn't matter what you suggest to them. They'll think up of better ones and they'll do it quickly. But anyway, I hope this video was useful to you and hope you stay for the next one, because that's going to be about leading and teaching your players and, helping them make better decisions, make better choices. And if you enjoyed this video, the price of it is one of your thumbs. Please put it on that pressure plate below. And if you didn't know that OThinking Dungeons has a podcast where we play games, and perhaps you might notice different ways that the DMs are narrowing down the choice in their games and helping the players make quicker decisions. And finally, we also have multiple different channels like our Instagram for photos and also our Patreon if you want to help us make better quality content or decide where the channel goes. Those are all down in the portal below. But anyway, I'm your DM Manny, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Goodbye.